7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. I have 58 people on my list.
Oh, that's great.
So at this point, we have a quorum. I can't, now if anybody else comes in after now, Co, can you keep track if anybody comes in late?
Yeah, I'm busy recording the session, so we can just compare what we have on the video with your list.
Perfect. All right. So with that, I am going to call our annual, the 150th annual meeting of the First Congregational United Church of Christ to order at 10:09 a.m. on August 2nd, 2002. This meeting is being taken place via Zoom due to our church not being open at the time due to COVID-19. All right. So we have confirmed that there is a quorum based on our Zoom attendance. And so let's see. So hopefully everybody had an opportunity to read the minutes from our last annual meeting. Does anybody have any questions or any corrections to the minutes from last year's annual meeting?
At this stage, I just want to say, if someone wants to say something, that they should wave their hand frantically if we don't hear you immediately. I will flip through the screens and see if someone's trying to get our attention.
All right, you could also, I believe, if you have a question or something, if you are able to unmute yourself, you're welcome to do that too. So are there any corrections to last year's annual meeting minutes? If not, I need a motion to approve the annual meeting minutes from 2019.
So moved.
All right, so Marcia Urban, correct?
Yes.
All right.
I'll second it.
Who was that?
Hello.
Hello. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Raise your hand.
Or okay, good. All right. Anybody opposed?
Something happened here.
Was that opposed? I think that's it.
No one opposed? All right. So the motion is approved. Carried. All right. Our next order of business is our 2020-2021 church budget. At this time, Co is going to share his screen and put the budget up so that you should be able to see it on your device that you are looking at. Then I will, Jana, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and explain.
Sure you're sitting right up in a camera and microphone so you're not far away.
That was pretty hard to read.
Where's Gina?
Good morning.
Morning.
Are you able to see all the little notes here on the, this is the shortened version of the proposed budget?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So
Now I can, yeah.
as we started with our requested expenses from each of the ministries, I'm sorry, I don't have in front of me the I do have last year's comparison. Worship ministry requested this year $111,567. That compares last year it increased this year due to us putting housing allowance back into these particular line items. Property requested the $97,700, which compares to what they asked for this fiscal year, $111,700. They're going to be using quite a few dollars out of their restricted accounts this year. Administrative, which is all of the copy machine, telephone, all those kinds of expenses, office supplies. This year is requesting $54,910, which is an increase of about $300 from last year.
Right here.
Child-
Only smaller.
I'm sorry.
Did someone have a question?
I think it was
Did you-
background noise.
Dana, you can continue.
I can, okay, thank you. Child and adult ed requested $12,700, which is exactly the same as what they requested this fiscal year. Music ministry requested $31,850, which is a decrease of almost $6,000 from last year.
Yeah.
Youth ministry has requested $13,690, which is a decrease of about $70 from this year. Our mission ministry request is $6,500. It's the same as this fiscal year. Membership and communication has requested $7,273, which is an increase of about $150 from last year. Diaconate has requested $0. They're going to use their restricted funds. And Heart of the Church has requested $100 for a total of $336,310, sorry, for the expenses for the next fiscal year. So against those dollars, we expect our income to be as follows. We expect our general fund contributions to be about $190,000, which is just about what we have been receiving for the last couple of fiscal years. We are hoping for loose offerings of about $2,500, church school $250, special offerings, which include like the initial offering from offering envelopes, Thanksgiving offerings, those kinds of things, $5,000. Building use of $4,000. Now this year we had that budgeted at $17,500, but we don't anticipate the building to be open for our groups, so we are hoping for $4,000 in this fiscal year. The same is true of our OCC, ESL classes. Normally we get something around over $10,000 from them. We're hoping that we will see them for 2 of their semesters, so $7,800. Seventh-day Adventist, same issue. Normally we budget about $27,000 for income from them. We do not anticipate more than $15,400 for half a year. We won't have anything from the foundation this year. Our Easter offering, Easter appeal, we're budgeting $2,000. Miscellaneous income of $500, Thanksgiving appeal $1,000, Star of Bethlehem $2,000. Where we're really putting our hopes is at the second time around sale, that by next April we'll be able to have this sale and pick up some of our dollars at $25,000. Bulletin Board of Bills, which we're in right now, we are budgeting $3,000. It helps kick off our summer months. We are not, nothing for our fall fundraiser or craft and vendor, but we do have a talent auction for $2,000 in February. Nothing, again, nothing for craft and vendor. Preschool, if they're in works, it'll be $7,000. Zanies, hopefully in February for $1,500. Now the PPP funds, I will be applying for the forgiveness of that loan. That $38,895 would be income to us for this particular year. We're balancing the budget with $20,715 from our contingency funds. And then the rest of the little incomes are from our book sales, Smile Amazon, metal recycling, memorials, gift card sales, and hopefully from the Evening Circle. So our budget proposal for income is $336,310, which gives us a balanced budget for fiscal 2021.
Mhm. Good God.
All right, so are there any questions for Jana on the budget?
Can Jana explain again what the PPP is about? Forgiveness of debt line, what is that?
Yes, you may remember from the stimulus package that came from the federal government in April or May, there were low and no interest loans available to small business and actually to anyone who had fewer than 500 employees. And so we applied based on 8 weeks of salary that we needed to keep us open and running. And we were approved for this $38,895. Currently, it sits as a liability to us. It's still in loan status, but the procedure to request forgiveness of that will be started this week, and then we can count that as income. As it turns out, we did not have to use that $38,000 to manage our budget that ended on June 30th. We're going to carry these, even though that's going to be reported for the payroll protection program, is what PPP stands for. So we will be using that $38,000 in this fiscal year.
Thanks.
You're
I have
welcome.
Okay, and then,
question on the income on the Amazon sale. What is normally last year's income? Because it's 150, I see, seems to be pretty low. Our Chinese school has maybe 1/10 of the amount of this church, but we have much larger from the Amazon sale.
Sure. We've received $158 this year, Jennifer, from Smile Amazon.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
any other questions for Jana?
Good job, Gina.
Thanks, Ken.
All right. So, yes, Marcia.
I have to go. I love you all. I'll talk to you later.
Bye,
Bye.
bye, Marcia.
All right, any other questions about the budget?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
You expect $7,000 from the preschool, and they are really in limbo at this point.
Correct.
Is that being realistic?
Bob, it's based on a half of a year. We didn't anticipate any building use income from any sources before January when we put this budget together.
Right.
So we're just assuming roughly a half a year from them.
Yeah, I think there's an awful lot in limbo, but I know you have to make assumptions, so.
Sure.
I did question that. Last year it was, what kind of income did they have?
Well, we budgeted 11,000 from them for this fiscal year. They're only closed 1 month out of the year, so we get essentially $1,000 for all the months that they are in business.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions? Jana?
Yeah, a lot of it's assumptions.
Wendy?
My name's in front of you.
Wendy, you have to unmute yourself.
Okay. What happens if we don't get all this income and we have all these expenses? Do you talk about that in the finance board? Do you do that?
Sharon, you want to take this one?
We talked about a lot of things, and you know, the world is so uncertain now. We really don't know what's going to happen. But what we did is we estimated, or we projected, like Jana said, that probably nothing would happen in our building for the first 6 months. So maybe January 1, things would start happening. Now, if the world improves significantly, maybe we'll have stuff happening sooner, but we needed somewhere to start the budgeting. So we figured full utilities, cleaning expenses, everything that goes into keeping the building running expense-wise would start January 1. Until that time, expenses would be lower. Now, same thing with income. We assumed that income from outside groups using our building wouldn't start until January 1. In a wonderful scenario, we'll get some income before then, but that's not what we projected. Same thing with preschool. And I did have some email back and forth with Nancy Quam, and we understand that they're in limbo. So we had to assume something. We assumed half a year. Right now they're talking about September. I don't know what's going to happen. Wendy, to your question, we don't know what's going to happen. We've got $20,000 in contingency funds that we said we were probably going to use. If things, really get dire, more dire than what we've projected, then we'll have to look at it mid-year or on the fly and figure out what we can do to further cut expenses. Does that mean using restricted funds for some things that right now we're talking about coming out of the general budget? Maybe it does. We don't have a second budget plan, but we know that we're going to have to keep looking at this closely every year and look at what's happening.
Every month.
All right, Bob, you have a question?
Bob Crocker. Let's see if he's muted. Bob, you have to unmute yourself. I see you talking, but we cannot hear you.
Co, can you unmute?
No, okay, we're good.
Okay.
I wanted to point out that with these expenses, with the income that we're not getting, if somebody doesn't show up, we also lose expenses, so that the hit is not as big as you'd say. It's not. If we lose $10,000 from somebody, we might not have, say, $8,000 in expenses.
No. He's right, with the electricity and heat.
But it won't be that rash.
Can't hear you, Dick.
All right, so are there any other questions or comments?
What did Richard say?
Rich, did you have the comment or question? Sorry, we could hear you talking, but.
I was simply commenting that, what Bob was saying, lose $10,000 worth of income. It's not going to be $8,000 worth of expenses. It'll be far less than that, because the reality is most of our expenses are fixed as such. Things like the electricity and water, we're getting savings there. But, the lawn still has to be cut. If there's snow coming in, we'll have to see what happens there. Whether the building is in use, whether everything that we do has to be done then. Does the parking lot really need to be plowed come winter time if there's no use on it? Just taking the sidewalks and what we need for public safety. These are things that have to be decided on when it comes about.
Right, and this is Sharon again, if I can just reiterate, we really don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we tried very hard to make a realistic or as realistic as possible projection. And again, what we did is we projected pretty much nothing happening for the first 6 months of the year. And we thought that that was a fair way to look at it. I don't know. At the time we put it together, we hope and we think there's, you know, it's not just a hope. We think it's a realistic goal to look at getting back to normal or starting to get back to normal sometime around the first of the year.
I think that is reasonable.
Yeah.
And I like the approach.
Thank you, Bob.
I agree.
Yeah, me too.
Sharon,
Yes.
Yes.
this is Mary. Does the budget as outlined, does it reflect reduced expenses based on reduced building usage up until January?
Yes,
Okay, so that's already built in.
that's built in.
All right, any other questions or comments about the budget? All right, if we have no other questions or comments or discussion about the budget, I need a motion to approve the budget as
I will-
presented.
I will move that we approve the budget.
I'll second.
Okay, hold on. So who moved?
Lowell moved.
Lou,
All right, who seconded?
Rich,
Jack.
Thank you. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
All right, do we have anybody opposed? All right, so the budget, approval of the budget is passed. And again, this will also be, so this is passed by the group that is here. We are leaving voting open to those who are not able to attend to vote by email or paper ballot if they choose to do so. But we would have, but as it stands right now, the budget is approved. Our annual reports, hopefully everybody had a chance to read through the annual reports in the document that was sent out. Is there any questions about any of the annual reports? Any clarification you would like about any of the happenings of our ministries or our committees? I'm not seeing anybody. Co, are you seeing anybody?
No, I don't see anyone. Please shout out if you do. Or wave your hand. No, nobody. Everybody's good.
All right. So thank you all, everybody, for your reports. And if you didn't get a chance to read them, please do, because it gives us a really good picture of what everybody in the church has been doing over the last year. And then with that, we go on to the pastor's report. So Co, you're up.
Okay, I have muted everybody, so that's good. So I can keep on talking like it's a sermon. So, anyhow, my report will be short. I mean, what I'm going to say today is basically what I have in my written report is that I am just amazed about the creativity of our congregation as a body of Christ to continue our ministry in a variety of ways, different ways than we are used to. And in many different levels, I've seen our congregation coming together like we have never experienced before. And in a time that kind of demands more from us. So it kind of makes me very optimistic. I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward that we would be able to worship together again in person and see each other and hopefully get to a point where we can even hug and greet each other properly, but just to be together in fellowship. If we can do this, what we do now with our church, and can you just imagine what we can do when we back in person and in a way add what we have done now to our ministry that we have done before. A couple of years ago, we did the book A Weird Church, and we talked about possible scenarios on how the face of the church will be changing. Never in our wildest imagination have we dreamt of a pandemic and of Zoom, but we've seen our building is kept in good condition, so it will be ready when we move back. People have stepped up and feed the hungry, reach out to the refugees, spruced up bicycles, neighbor reaching out to neighbor. As we get deeper into this pandemic, more and more people are exposed to the reality of the virus, more positive cases, and it becomes very personal. And how people have reached out just makes me excited about the future of your church. And thank you for being the Church of Christ, and thank you. And it's a wonderful privilege to serve as the pastor in our church. And that's all. And if you have a question, you have to unmute yourself.
All right, so does anybody have a question? As I found the unmute button for myself.
Yeah.
All right, with no questions, then we'll move on
Bob
to...
Crocker has a question.
Oh, well,
Bob, you are still muted if you don't know.
no, he's saying no. He's got an X going.
Oh, okay.
I do
All
have
right.
a comment. I think your presentations online have been fantastic. And I appreciate it. I think a lot of congregants do.
Thank you. Yeah, it's team effort, and I must say that our music people, our staff people, we try to recreate the virtual worship service as we would have in church. And of course, not everything is always possible. And if you do watch the worship service today, I missed the benediction, forgot to add it. So I was
I thought you went under.
My kayak sunk, so I couldn't do the benediction. But yeah, it's really, I do want to give a shout out to all our staff members who is very creative. I mean, Matt is listening with the youth. They took extra measures to make sure the kids are safe so that they at least could have a 3-day weekend. And I mean, we saw all our other staff members being creative with what they do. And so yeah, thank you for your support to the staff as well.
Even the dogs like you. Oh, also to your family. I mean, I don't know if that was Ansbel or Ellie today with the kayak, but I mean, aren't they both involved pretty much every Sunday in putting all that together?
Yeah, this was Elia. She's my director, and she's very strict and shout on me and swear at me. And there was a time that Izan and Ansbel was able to do the drawings, but then, of course, Izan moved away, and Ansbel had to go back to work. And Garrett Pittman had the wonderful idea that maybe we can get the Sunday school kids involved to give them the scripture readings and see what drawings they can come up with. But so this is the type of creativity that kind of stir our new type of virtual church.
All right. Okay, so I don't see anybody. Flo? Oh. Unmute yourself, Flo.
Thank you. A couple of comments. Number one, I really miss hearing our bells, unless I happen to drive over there at the right time of day. So that would be kind of nice to hear. And I also miss you, Lowell, with your talent, doing something during the church service. Maybe that's a little bit too much to ask, but Koya might find something that he could entertain us with and keep us reminded we are children of God. Also, I'd like to remind you that, Cole, you've been doing such a wonderful job. that you make our little bitty things worthwhile. And thank you all.
Thank you.
Now can I mute myself?
Yes.
Rhonda, Tom Tucker has been waving his hand to speak.
I don't even see him on my screen. Go ahead, Tom.
Okay. Tom, you're good?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to thank the committee in preparing this budget. It's been very, very difficult. So many unknowns. I just think they've done a really great job in doing it. I want to thank them. That's it.
Thank you, Tom. I'm sorry I didn't see you before.
But I think it's good if you see someone waving, please help and shout out.
Yes, I will take as much help as I could get with this today.
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments about the pastor's report? All right. If not, then it's time for us to move on to our election of officers. So who from nominating is presenting the slate today?
Let's see. Getting the
Yeah.
All right, so I need somebody on the nominating committee to present the slate report, and
see if I can find.
I know Joanne was there.
Yeah.
But she's not there anymore in her box.
Michelle, can you do the report of the nominating committee?
Unmute yourself, Michelle.
If you put it back up, I can read it.
Okay. I just want to make sure we have someone.
I mean, I'm working, but okay. Nominating committee report. Officers, moderator for the new year will be Christina Tomzik. Assistant moderator Lowell Hardy. Immediate past moderator Rhonda Yost. Okay. Congregational council. First year terms is Jim Rudicelli, first year, first term. Sandy Flink, first year, first term. Sharon Uri, second year, first term. Maxine Hubbard, second year, first term. Nancy Brink, third year, first term. And Lowell Handy, third year, first term. Nancy Shast is first year, second term. Ruth Reinhold is filling in for somebody, so it's first year, second term. Larry Shimka, second year, second term. Ing Uschenbach, second year, second term. Roger Aldi, third year, second term. And Michelle Herrera, my last year, third year, second term. Okay, for the pastoral committee, and I want to thank everybody for stepping up that we could get, okay? Dee Hardesty, first year. Faith Engler, first year. And Robin Muir, first year. AJ Amarici is stepping in, so he's going to be doing his second year. Sharon Uri, second year. Deb Aldi, second year. Deb Fogarty, third year. Anita Donahue, third year. And Larry Shimka, third year. The nominating committee was Joanne Kimball, Roger Aldi, Christina Tomzik, and myself. Oh, maybe I need to say Michelle Herrera.
And then we had one change to the slate after it was printed.
Which was? How I feel about that, but it was decided after it was voted by council and agreed upon that Lowell Handy could not be on council and assistant moderator for this year. So it was decided by Rhonda and co that council will be nominating somebody for Lowell's position.
We also have the opportunity actually during this meeting, so we have one vacancy on the council. So if anyone would like to step up or nominate someone for council, that would be a wonderful idea if we can get it done today. Because the moment Lowell moved to assistant moderator, our constitution still requires 12 members. And So at this stage, we will have one vacancy for council, which can be filled by council during the year, but it also can be filled during the annual meeting. So now would be an opportunity to stand up and say you want to be on council, or Sandy can nominate, for example, Bob Proctor while he's sleeping.
I was under the impression that there was a floor nomination coming, but maybe not.
Yeah, I cannot nominate.
And neither can I. So even though we had conversations, yes, Flo? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Flo.
Do I understand this properly? What we're looking for to replace and nominate somebody from our council for the assistant moderator?
No. Hold on.
No?
What we are doing, Lowell is the assistant moderator. He has 1 year left on his first term.
Yeah.
And then he has, then 3 years would be the second term. So we're looking someone to take over his council position for the next 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Now, given that it's an automatic, you do not have to do the second 3 years. So it could be just 1 year. And then whoever's on the nominating committee can find somebody to replace that person next year.
So it'd be a minimum of 1 year or a maximum of 4 years.
And you can always resign with regrets from me, but so. and Nancy Brink has her hand up.
Is that my
Yeah. Go ahead, Nancy.
Nancy.
Unmute, Nancy.
Wait a second, Nancy.
You're muted, Nancy. You were unmuted, now you're muted again.
John, unmute.
Okay.
There you go.
I was under the understanding that Marcia Urban is interested in the position. So I will nominate Marcia Urban to take over Lowell Handy's position. She would be starting the 3rd year, first term on the Congregation Council.
Thank you, Nancy. And it is my understanding from her also that she is interested, but I was not allowed to make that nomination. So we are looking at the slate as presented with the change of Marcia Urban taking over Lowell Handy's term for 3rd year or first term. Any questions or comments on the slate before we look for a motion to approve? I don't see any hands waving. So I need a motion to approve the slate with the addition of Marcia Urban to take over Lowell Handy's.
So moved.
Who was that?
Tina.
Huh?
Tina.
Tina, okay. Second?
Second.
I'll second.
Who was the second?
Nancy checked.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Raise your hand.
Aye.
All right, any opposed? All right, and with that, the motion carries with the noted of opposed. All right, this will also continue in the, to be open for voting, as is the budget, until, through the week for people who are not able to be with us in the Zoom forum, that they can vote by email or by paper ballot. All right, with that, are there any additional comments from the congregation about anything related to our church currently? I'm not seeing any hands. Does anybody see any hands that I'm missing? I don't think so. All right, so with that,
Rhonda,
yeah, oh, yes, Flo?
can we have a prayer before you read, before you end the meeting?
Oh, well, I wasn't quite done yet, Flo.
Oh, I thought you were gonna just say that.
Before I move on to closing the meeting, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you. It has been an interesting 2 years as moderator of the church. There have been a lot of things that have come to be that were not in anybody's mind of something that could happen in these last 2 years. I will thank you for the support of everyone who has helped out and who has done things for me, and who've just been there to say you're doing a good job, because some days I wasn't really sure. So thank you all for all of the support, and it has been a privilege and a blessing to serve as the church moderator. After this meeting, the baton gets handed over to Chris Tomzik, and I am sure she will continue to do just a wonderful job, and I will be there to help her as past moderator as needed. But we really have a wonderful church and a lot of wonderful people who really do work to make sure that our church is the best that it can be. Sometimes we don't always agree. Sometimes some people want to see things done differently than others, but in the end, I do feel like we do come together to do what's best for our church. So thank you all for the opportunity to serve as your moderator, and I look forward to the next 2 years as past moderator, just kind of helping out in the background, and just continuing to be part of this amazing congregation. So thank you all very much. And with that, Co, if you would like to offer up prayer for closing of the meeting.
I was checking the time, so I have 10 minutes to finish the hour. My goal was to finish, but before Flo closed her eyes from as the minister, you always work closely with the moderator, and I've been here forever, like 12 years. So which gave me the opportunity to work with numerous moderators, and it's always a privilege because you get to work close, and each and every term of a moderator has its own challenges. And I just want to affirm that through everything, Rhonda kept her cool and calm and handled situations very professionally. And we, as a congregation, we were privileged to have her as a moderator. And I'm looking forward to work with Chris Tomzik as our next moderator. So thank you, Rhonda, and to your family for the many hours that we took of your time. So let us pray. Loving God, we thank you for this most beautiful day. We thank you that even though we meet in cyberspace, that we are the body of Christ. We thank you for all the ministries, the committees, the chairs, the members, the council, the volunteers, the people that donate, the people that do the deliveries, everything that we do to honor your name. And we thank you that we can look forward being the church in the future. We pray this in your wonderful name. Amen. If you have something to say like a goodbye, you have to unmute yourself.
Thank you to everybody for all the hard work and putting this together. I know it's not easy.
Thank you. Yeah, you have 8 minutes to say your goodbyes and leave.
The meeting is now officially adjourned at 10:52 a.m. If you would like to continue to chat, since we haven't seen this many people in one group for a long time, you are more than welcome to do that. But the meeting is officially adjourned.
Go
ahead and unmute yourselves and go ahead.
Please join us for a video lunch now that you know how to use Zoom. It's awesome to see you.
Okay, if some of you didn't get my email, I will be at the church tomorrow from 10 until 11 o'clock to distribute the pizza coupons. So I hope that I'll see you there. And thank you so much for a wonderful fundraiser. We made $650 on the pizza coupons with donations $703, which will go to Evening Circle, and they will make a decision where the money goes. In the past, we have donated quite a bit of money to the general fund and other places. So thanks so much.
I want to know what Riley is drawing.
Oh, man, I knew you were gonna.
You don't have to show us it.
Yes, she does.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Okay, who is that?
My internet crush. He's, it's, this, okay. Does anyone know the Try Guy?
I have a question.
No, don't
Yeah.
know the Dry Guide.
Oh, come on. Best. They're the best. There's just these 5 dudes that basically do dumb crap on the internet. They're pretty funny. The Asian one, Eugene, is my favorite.
It looks like Bob Cracker had a question or a comment or something.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, did we have a quorum with the people present, or are we waiting for more people to come in from the future who see the thing?
We did have a quorum with the people present, but because we said we would leave voting open for those who could not attend, we will continue to do that.
Okay, thank you. I just was curious, yeah, this way that all we're waiting on is the final votes then, okay.
Yeah, we did have a quorum.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good week.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Feel free to leave.
I will disconnect it. As soon as it goes off.
Miss you all.